Citizens around the island remain alert as Typhoon Trami makes landfall here in Taiwan. Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital's community health check program gives residents early diagnosis of their illnesses. Welcome to Dial Headlines. I'm Wendy Chen. Thank you for joining us. First up in Taiwan, in preparation of the then coming Typhoon Trami, the Tzu Chi Foundation in Hualien set up a disaster response coordination headquarters to offer necessary assistance to all Tzu Chi units and volunteers around the island. As well, Kaohsiung Tzu Chi volunteers visited care recipients with relief items and made sure they're prepared for the storm.
As the Central Weather Bureau officially broadcasts the coming of Typhoon Trami, Kaohsiung Tzu Chi volunteers arrived at care recipients' homes with aid supplies and caring words.
Tzu Chi volunteers are more caring than my own children. They come to visit me every month.
Worrying about the solitary seniors in their community, Tzu Chi volunteers visit each household to check on the state of their preparation ahead of the typhoon, helping them get through the storm free from harm and damage.
As the typhoon hits, it normally causes flooding around this neighborhood because this is a low-lying area. We bring food to the care recipients so they don't need to go out to purchase food. This way, they will be more settled in their hearts.
Though heavy rainfall has not been seen in Kaohsiung, local residents should not overlook the potential threat of the typhoon and should still carry out disaster prevention in advance. Meanwhile, in Hualien, Tzu Chi College of Technology and Tzu Chi University are making their final preparations in the face of the upcoming typhoon as workers get busy reinforcing the structures of the buildings to avoid potential damage.
We are concerned that the upcoming typhoon may damage the ongoing construction work. Since the construction work cannot be completed overnight, we ask the workers to strengthen the structure of the building prior to the storm.
As the Central Weather Bureau announced the arrival of Typhoon Trami, the Tzu Chi Foundation set up the Disaster Response Coordination Headquarters at Jingsi Abode, from where they can provide typhoon information updates and coordinate with Tzu Chi volunteers all over Taiwan.
At the Disaster Response Coordination Headquarters, Tzu Chi brothers and sisters work together to ensure that everyone gets through the storm safely.
Meanwhile, volunteers at the Hualien Jingsi Hall also carried out disaster prevention work in hopes of helping everyone weather the typhoon in safety and peace.
After leaving a trail of destruction in the Philippines, Typhoon Utar hit China's Guangdong province and flooded many cities and counties. Though many Tzu Chi volunteers also experienced floodings in their homes, however, all were reported to be safe and sound. Beginning on August 20th, volunteers traveled to the worst hit areas to carry out disaster surveys. Typhoon Utar, along with its southwest monsoon, have caused the worst damage in 60 years along the coastline of China's Guangdong province. While Puning Tzu Chi volunteers were on a home visit, media volunteers captured the footage of the typhoon. The torrential rainfall accumulated over the past few days has caused water to overflow from the dikes around the region. Local volunteers and residents all experienced flooding, and in some areas, the water even reached 2 meters high. Residents who were evacuated could only seek temporary shelter in hotels.
This time, what's different is that since it started raining on the 17th, the next morning on the 18th, the water was already nearly a meter high in Shixia. We suggested everyone put their home appliances on higher ground or even the second floor if possible. Yesterday, when we wanted to go home, we couldn't because there were traffic restrictions everywhere. So we came back to Chaoyang to stay in a hotel.
Luckily, local volunteers made it through the storm safely and began carrying out a disaster survey on August 20th.
The areas that they might need our help would be relief items or human resources, and cleaning-wise, they will have to wait till the water subsides. Now, Brother Yang and Brother Jiang are in Puning. There are about 7 to 8 of them who went to the worst hit areas to conduct a disaster survey and find out what resources are needed. Then we will be able to report the findings and mobilize Xiamen Tzu Chi volunteers.
In other areas of Guangdong, Tzu Chi volunteers are on standby to provide any needed assistance and carry out relief work as soon as possible. Moving back to Taiwan, more than 300 recycling volunteers from 12 countries around the globe recently arrived in Taiwan to attend a recycling coordinator training seminar which took place from August 16th. Volunteers were all inspired by what they saw and vowed to take what they have learned back home.
With an open mind to learn, some 300 recycling volunteers from 12 countries around the world are here in New Taipei City, Taiwan, to visit various environmental education centers, and what they witnessed left them thoroughly impressed.
As Taiwan has more years of recycling experience, I can take their skills back home with me and implement these practices at our recycling stations in Malaysia.
Taiwan's senior recycling volunteers also share their experiences, giving these volunteers from Cambodia, who have not yet implemented recycling in their country, a huge boost of confidence.
I've always wanted to practice recycling back home, but there are many challenges hindering us. We don't have any experience, so we want to learn as much as we can here. But it all begins with courage and determination, so taking back what we have learned, we just need to do it with patience. The brothers told us that when they first started out, many recycling companies didn't want to collect their recyclables, so in the end, it just became trash. So first we need to understand all the legalities before we take the next step.
Whether it is taking notes or through personal experience, these volunteers from abroad all hope to implement all that they have learned here back home.
I can go back and share with others how to properly sort recyclables and how to further spread these environmental concepts into each household.
Our master always tells us to play our part in safeguarding our planet, and I saw many elderly recycling bodhisattvas do just that. This is a new chapter in their life in retirement.
The short yet fulfilling trip proved to be insightful for the 300-some volunteers, and it is certain that upon returning home, they will continue to be the guardians of our Earth.
In 1993, after a few college students attended a 3-day seminar at the Tzu Chi Penang Liaison Office in Malaysia, the first teaching seminar in the nation was held the very next year. Today, 20 years on, some 100 Tzu Chings have become certified Tzu Chi volunteers and Tzu Tsins and are committed to spread Tzu Chi's ideal far and wide.
This is Li Zongfu, who is the administration director at the Tzu Chi Malaysia chapter. In year 2000, Li became a certified Tzu Chi volunteer, and his Dharma name Ji Lang is there to always remind him not to forget where he started. 20 years ago, Li Zongfu and 8 friends from University Technology Malaysia arrived at Tzu Chi's Penang Liaison Office to attend a 3-day seminar. It was the same camp that inspired him to care for the sick and poor.
After I visited care recipients with Tzu Chi volunteers, I vowed to become a part of Tzu Chi when I graduated from university. After I graduated, I went back to Penang, and the next thing I knew, I was working in Tzu Chi.
The following year, Li Zongfu started working at Penang Liaison Office and had become the first Tzu Ching in Malaysia. Although Li had to build everything from scratch, he still managed to hold the first Tzu Ching camp in the country. 20 years later, some 100 Tzu Chings have become full-fledged Tzu Chi volunteers.
这都是在这近几年来我的慈亲都长大了啦。在慈济系统里不只是学佛，在学佛中呢，还要把佛心贴上了自己的心，所以叫做佛心，还要身体力行呢，在人群中，所以叫做狮子行菩萨道，这都是慈亲的使命
This is Ng Lei Huan, who used to be a Tzu Ching and decided to work in Tzu Chi Foundation after graduation. However, her mother did not support her decision.
Back then, I didn't know what to do. I knew that I made the right decision to work in Tzu Chi, but I felt I wasn't filial towards my mother because she was upset. I had to choose between the two, so I decided to talk to her about the Tzu Chi Foundation so she could understand my job better.
Now, 20 years on, this group of Tzu Chings has become certified Tzu Chi volunteers. In the years to come, they vow to continue shoulder Tzu Chi's responsibility and inspire more people to walk the Tzu Chi path.
Back to Taiwan, the Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital has held monthly community health days since 2010, where transportation was provided to seniors to receive health screenings at the hospital. 3 years ago, Zhao Caiyu participated in such an activity and was diagnosed with stage 0 ovarian cancer. Zhao has since received treatment and made a full recovery, showing the importance of regular health checks.
Now, with plenty of energy, 65-year-old Zhao Caiyu moved from Taipei to Hualien and opened up a noodle stand with her younger sister. Healthy and able-bodied, illnesses rarely affected her. However, 3 years ago, when she partook in a community health screening, Zhao found out she had 0-stage ovarian cancer. A group of elderly people line up and board a bus like they are heading out on a trip. However, their destination isn't a scenic spot.
Yeah, it's like an outing.
We were just talking about how it seemed like we were going on a trip.
Creating a friendly atmosphere, the seniors' fear of visiting hospitals is reduced as they see the visit not about curing an illness, but about trying to maintain their sense of well-being.
Coming here, it feels like a day tour. There's no pressure, it's enjoyable, and the main focus is that it safeguards these seniors' health and gives these seniors a different view of the hospital.
Since 2010, Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital has been cooperating with nearby communities to hold a monthly community health day. This time, the event brought in 40 seniors from the Minqing neighborhood. Nursing staff and volunteers accompany the seniors during their height measurements, vision tests, blood tests, and X-ray exams.
If you don't ask them to come, the seniors won't visit on their own. We have a bus to pick them up and drop them off at our 9th floor preventative medicine department, where they can get their health checked. Our services include adult and senior health checks, physical fitness checks, cancer screening, etc., all free of charge.
In setting an example for others to follow, 89-year-old Tang Zhenghong, who has had 2 coronary stents placed, hopes other seniors can be aware of their health as well.
Some elderly people don't like to find out too much about their health as they are not able to accept finding out they are sick. But for me personally, I like to get a better understanding of what's going on in my body.
Discovering her cancerous cells early on, Zhao Caiyu was able to receive treatment and recover. Now her follow-ups have steadied at 1 per year.
If we discover the cancer in pre-malignant stages, then the survival rate is most likely 100%. However, if the cells have turned cancerous, then the survival percentage depends on what stage it is found in.
Patients should not wait until their body sends a warning to pay a visit to the hospital. Regular checkups and especially seniors' health screenings are a must for maintaining a healthy lifestyle.
I'm glad there are health screenings as there are people like me who don't get their health checked very often. If I had waited another year or 2, my cancer cells might have turned malignant. So I'm very thankful Tzu Chi has these activities and it's important for them to continue.
Now that Zhao's life is back to normal, she continues to get up at 4 in the morning to prepare for work. If it wasn't for her health check 3 years ago, she might not be standing where she is today.
To celebrate the Indonesian National Day here in Taiwan, New Taipei City Government and the Indonesia Economic and Trade Office to Taipei organized an Indonesian cultural festival at the Ban Chao Stadium, where Tzu Chi volunteers and team members also organized a free clinic to provide medical services to foreign workers.
对，就是有些石头哈，我们把它洗一洗，哈。
Sitting on the dental chair is Indonesian labor Kuneri, who, despite working in Taiwan for several years, is seeing a doctor for the first time.
I was told that Tzu Chi will hold a free clinic here. Tzu Chi's doctors will be here and I can see the doctor for free. Today is the first time I have seen a doctor here in Taiwan. Yes, I'm more relieved.
To celebrate Indonesia's National Day, New Taipei City government organized an Indonesian cultural festival here at Ban Chao Stadium. Tzu Chi volunteers and members of Northern Timor set up a free clinic during the event to provide foreign laborers with health checkups and medical treatment.
These doctors are very nice, they are polite and full of love. The health checkups are free, everything is free. Thank you, Tzu Chi, thank you so much. These foreign laborers travel from miles away to make their living in Taiwan. It is good that we Timor members are able to do something for them.
In addition to foreign laborers, many foreign students and new immigrants are also seen in the venue. Tzu Chi volunteers' love and care helps alleviate their homesickness.
I have a part-time job, so I am often too busy to see a doctor. It is actually too expensive to see a doctor for a foreign student like me.
Tzu Chi provides us with free diagnosis and health checkups. Tzu Chi's events really helps us a lot. Thank you.
Thanks to Tzu Chi's free clinic, these foreign residents finally have a chance to receive medical treatment, and the care and love from Timor members makes them feel like they are at home once again.
The Taiwan Tzu Chi Hospital, while receiving their medical evaluation, received the help of many Tzu Chi volunteers who were not only on hand to keep the environment clean, but also cooked hot meals for medical staff. To express their gratitude, the superintendent, Dr. Jian Shouxing, led his staff in preparing a delicious meal for the volunteers.
Switching from scrubs into aprons and putting down their surgical knife to hold a kitchen knife, doctors and nurses of Taiwan Tzu Chi Hospital are cooking up a storm.
I don't often cook, so I look like a newbie when chopping vegetables.
For these staff members, it doesn't matter if they are familiar in the kitchen or not. Each holds a grateful heart while helping out.
I'm glad to be able to share this very meaningful event with others.
Even the superintendent of the hospital, Dr. Jian Shouxing, has joined in, serving as the master chef of the kitchen, leading the rest of his team in providing a meal to thank the Tzu Chi volunteers for their tireless effort during the medical evaluation.
It's like when we see patients, we see many patients. Every serving of the noodle, like every prescription, there's lots of love involved.
During the evaluation period, volunteers served over 20,000 bowls of noodles as support and encouragement for the staff. Now that the hard work is over, the doctors and nurses have a chance to reciprocate by personally serving each volunteer.
Really, we feel spoiled.
It tastes really delicious, and we even want another serving.
Each bowl of noodles is filled with love and gratitude that can't help but warm the hearts of volunteers.
Next, we meet a young volunteer, Huang Shengkai, who, despite being at the age of 6, has already vowed to adopt to vegetarianism as part of his commitments to perform in the sign language musical of the Sutra of Innumerable Meanings. Let's hear his story.
My name is Huang Shengkai. I'm 6 years old. Now I'm a young volunteer at the Jinsi Books and Cafe. Here I learn how to organize books and clean up the store.
Despite being 6, Huang Shengkai, in comparison to children at his age, is more mature and settled. Since his participation in last year's musical adaptation of the Sutra of Immeasurable Meanings, this little boy has learned to protect the environment through vegetarianism.
还有，你有没有鼓励谁吃素啊？爸爸妈妈，对不对？你有跟爸爸妈妈说为什么要吃菜菜，多吃菜菜？
有啊。
为什么？
我跟妈妈说，地球已经软化发烧了。
Joining Huang Shengkai in going meatless is his aunt, Zhuang Wenxin, a Tzu Chi volunteer who looks after him when his parents are at work and often share Master Zheng Yan's words of wisdom to educate him the importance of going vegetarian.
Through our interactions, he has gradually changed. He decided to eat 108 vegetarian meals for the preparation of the sutra performance this year. As well, he encourages his parents to go meatless.
At each rehearsal, the little boy focuses on making his sign language movements perfect and learning words of the Sutra of immeasurable meanings by heart. Despite his scholastic aptitude, Huang, however, used to worry his parents due to his quick temper.
Shengkai used to be a stubborn boy. He always insisted on getting whatever he wanted. However, after he joined as a young volunteer, over the past months, he has learned to control his temper and learn how to calm down and listen to other people. Now he has changed for the better and more willing to look after his younger sister and talk in a softer tone.
三界托风出世人啊，只怕清凉。要慢一点。
Through endless practice of the movements of the sign language musical, the Dharma within has profoundly influenced the mind of this young volunteer and helped him change for the better.
In Tainan, Tzu Chi volunteers held a blessing ceremony in honor of the 7th lunar month at Baoning Temple in Yongkang District. Participants included residents both young and old, who all went away with a deeper understanding of the true meaning behind the Pudu festival.
Hoping to share the blessings with as many people as possible, Tzu Chi volunteers brave the rains as they go door to door to invite members of the public to the upcoming blessing ceremony. Participants are first treated to play in which volunteers encourage everyone to reflect on the cruelty and desire that lies behind a meat-based diet. One child himself, a vegetarian for 6 years, echoes the volunteers' call for action.
吃素可以不杀生，可以救地球，还可以让身体变成更健康。师姑师伯，你看我是不是健康宝宝？师姑师伯，我们一起来发愿，生生世世都来吃素，好吗？
Next, participants watch a tale performed by a Taiwanese opera troupe in which the main proponent, a child, hopes to teach his parents to feel empathy for all sentient beings and refrain from taking their life.
We should not harm other families and cause them loss for the sake of our own benefit, or the rabbit in the story would not have a mother. That is what moved me the most.
Hands and hearts held in prayer, these residents are not only experiencing the real meaning of Pudu, but also the right way to celebrate.
Since typhoon alert was announced here in Taiwan, Tzu Chi volunteers and foundation staff all around the island were mobilized in preparation of the then coming storm. Tzu Chi volunteers in northern Taiwan set up a disaster command center in Taipei and ensured there are plenty of relief packs, instant rice and noodles, as well as water if needed. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.